Welcome to Joe's Astrology. This is the birth chart for singer and actor Tyrese. And he's a sun in Capricorn, moon in Capricorn. And I want to focus on him being a singer and being an actor because at first glance, when you see a chart like this, if you're just looking at the sun and moon, and even the rising there in Scorpio, you're wondering, where does the profession of singer and actor come from? I mean, even if we look here at the sixth house, there's no planets in the sixth. The sixth is ruled by Aries there, ruled by Mars, which comes back to Capricorn as well. And although here in the midheaven we start to see some clue to him being a performer with the midheaven, with having Leo there in the midheaven, but the ruler, the sun, still comes back to this Capricorn. So this is where you can really see you have to go deeper in a chart. If someone says, "Oh, Tyrese, Tyrese, what's your sun sign? What's your moon sign?" Capricorn. You're not going to think right away. You're not going to think actor or singer, especially singer. So you have to go a little bit deeper. So let's start with Pluto, because that's where you start from the beginning. Really, the beginning of a chart is Pluto. And kind of ironically, it's the planet the farthest away, and most people start with the sun. So we'll start here with Pluto, and it's in the 12th house. And the 12th house being 12th house or Pisces, Neptune, and Pluto there really shows that the deepest part of the chart, we can see that he would be a singer. He would be an actor. Because those are the professions that correlate with performance, creativity, music. And let's just go right to actually, before we do that, let's look at the ruler of the chart. The ruler of the chart is the ruler of the rising, Scorpio, which is Pluto. Where's Pluto? It's in the 12th house. So the ruler of his chart is in the 12th house. And then we can go here to Neptune, the planet that really we can see these traits with. And as I said, it's the house that Pluto is in is the house of Neptune. And we see Neptune is there in Sagittarius. It's making a conjunction to Mercury. So the reason why I emphasize Sagittarius there is that the co-ruler of Pisces is Jupiter. And we see he does have Jupiter in Leo, near the midheaven there, meaning he is someone who likes to be center stage. Part of his life is going to be creativity, performing, being the center of attention. So coming back to this Mercury-Neptune that Jupiter is making a trine, which is an easy flowing aspect. And as I said, the Neptune is conjunct Mercury there. And the Neptune is also making a semi-sextile to Uranus. And it's also making a trine to the midheaven. And that Jupiter is also making a square, almost exact square, to the rising. So lots of aspects there. Of course, Neptune is making a sextile to Pluto, which in most people's, pretty much everyone's chart, they have that sextile at this point in time. You can also see that Neptune is making a almost exact square to the nodes there at 20 degrees Virgo, and it's making a square to Saturn. And last but not least, actually before I say that, the moon is making an almost exact aspect to Neptune as well at 17 and 18 degrees. And last but not least, the south node where he's coming from is in Pisces, and it's in the 5th house. So back to Pluto, where he's coming from. We have Pluto in the 12th, and the south node where he's coming from in Pisces, the ruler being Neptune, in the 5th house, the Leo house. So if we go to the deepest part of the chart, the South Node and Pluto, we start to see a lot of Neptune, Jupiter. We start to see the correlation with being a singer and an actor. Now, when it comes to some other things we can look at when it comes to being a singer and an actor, he has Venus conjunct Uranus in the first house. So what he's really presenting to the public is a genius, and a genius really when it comes to other people's money. We see that in Scorpio in the first house. It's conjunct that Venus, so that's where I get the money piece as well, that this person also is good looking, has a unique look that our people are going to gravitate towards with that Uranus and Venus in the first house. And that Venus is also making a trine to that South Node that's in the fifth, this house of self-expression. So very much a money maker when it comes to this kind of activity. His persona, just his image. And you look at Tyrese, he's a very masculine guy, very sculpted body, good looking, and we can kind of come back here to the Capricorn with the Mars Sun. He does very much look like an Aries person, someone who's probably very athletic, or at least he looks athletic, someone who works out often. We see that there with 3 planets in Capricorn, with Mars there conjunct the moon and conjunct the sun, and Mars being exalted in Capricorn, and the Mars also making an exact trine to Saturn in Virgo. So a lot of emphasis on the body there, a lot of emphasis on Earth when it comes to his image. And also when it comes to his mind, with Saturn, we see he's very competitive. So this can be a person who's been maybe not had the easiest road to become an actor or a singer, someone who would have had to compete, had to work hard. Or we can just say with these planets, these surface level planets, the sun compared to Pluto, the sun, Mars, and moon, this is what you're seeing on the surface. And we see the Pluto in the South Node, what you're seeing beneath the surface, this creative person, this musical person, romantic person. Now, he has had some issues with love, I do believe, and we could get into that as well, with the Scorpio and the rising, the Uranus, Venus, big changes, sudden changes in love, trauma with love. I'm not going to get too much into that, although you can look at his 7th house and see the ruler of the 7th house is Venus, and it's conjunct Uranus. So all those good things I talked about him being genius-like qualities with his image, or unique image, genius in his ability to make money, also come back to haunt him with the trauma that I believe he would have went through when it comes to relationships. So we see the 2 sides of that, positive and what would be perceived as a negative expression. You can also see the ruler of his North Node, where he's headed, where he has Saturn very much emphasized there in the house of fame, in the house of career, the 10th and the 11th house. The ruler of that North Node is Mercury, and it's conjunct Neptune. So you can see where that North Node is really coming into fruition with Saturn there. Neptune will definitely be involved in helping to make that happen. So I'm going to leave it there for now. That's a little mini chart reading for singer and actor Tyrese.